What is going on, my fellow boxing fans? What a busy weekend we had. We had fights on ESPN, fights on Fox, fights on HBO. It was a lot of good fights, a lot of good main events, and let's get to it. Let's talk about it. Jesse Magdaleno versus Isaac Dogboe or Dogboe was a very good fight for the WBO Junior Featherweight Championship, the 122-pound title, the Super Bantamweight title, and that was a very good fight. I do believe it was the fight of the night. Both fighters came in undefeated. Jesse Magdaleno scored a knockdown of Dogboe in the first round, but Dogboe was a dog, and he came back, was disciplined, and he's a pretty good young fighter. He comes back and knocks down Magdaleno in the middle rounds, and then knocks him down a couple more times in the 11th round, the round that he stops Magdaleno, and Dogboe becomes the new WBO Junior Featherweight Champion. What a very good fight. Like I said, it was a fight of the night, one of the candidates for fight of the year. I wouldn't call it my fight of the year, but it was a highly entertaining fight. And what is next for both fighters, I do not know, but I do want to see Dogboe one more time. He joins the ranks of other fighters from Ghana to win world titles like Azuma Nelson and Ike Corte. And yeah, I want to see Dogboe again. I really enjoyed that fight. Then on Fox, I switched the channel to Fox, and Josecito Lopez gives Miguel Cruz his first L. And you know what? Josecito Lopez always comes to fight. He's a Riverside Rocky, and he always puts on a very entertaining, action-packed show. And last Saturday was no exception. It was a good, entertaining fight. And Josecito Lopez wins, and what's for his future? Well, he's going to get another fight. He's going to get another fight, and he's going to give us another entertaining fight, whether he wins or loses. Then switching over to the HBO show, Jermell Miller versus Johan Duhaupas. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I'm going to say Duhaupas. Miller, he's fat. He's over 305 pounds, but he's not a sloppy fat. He's a muscular, kind of sturdy fat. He can still get in good shape, and he's got pretty good skills. He won the fight clearly against Duhaupas. He landed some really good shots, displayed good skill, good timing, good technique, shoulder roll type of style. So Miller wins, and what's next for Miller? Well, I do not know. I don't even know if I would rank Miller in the top 5 heavyweights. I wouldn't pick him to beat either Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder. I don't know if I'd pick him to beat Joseph Parker. Probably wouldn't even pick him against Luis Ortiz. Maybe not even Dylan White, and maybe not even Alexander Povetkin. But Jermell Miller did show some pretty good skill. He is definitely a top 10 heavyweight. And you know what? I'll watch him fight again. You know, he displayed some decent skills on Saturday. And now the main event on HBO, which was probably the biggest fight of the night last night, was Daniel Jacobs versus Maxage Sulecki. HBO pronounced it Sulecki. And that fight was highly competitive. I mean, even though Daniel Jacobs won that fight clearly, it was Sulecki surprised me. And shout out once again to Seth of Pugilist Punch TV. He said this fight was going to be competitive, and he called it. It was a competitive fight. Daniel Jacobs, Sulecki, in my opinion, was actually more athletic and had more speed than Jacobs, and was landing a lot of clean right hands. He actually landed a lot of clean punches in this fight. Daniel Jacobs took him. Daniel Jacobs obviously is the more experienced, the more skilled fighter, and he showed it last night, and probably has more power too. He did knock down Sulecki in the final round, and but really Sulecki was hanging with Daniel Jacobs in the first few rounds, landing right hands, landing left hooks, even landing some good jabs. Daniel Jacobs was pretty much just trying to weather an early storm, maybe doing what he does, trying to set up his offense with his jab, throwing body punches. And then it looked like in the middle rounds that Daniel Jacobs was going to pull away. But Sulecki kind of came back, used his athleticism once again to started landing those clean right hands. And Daniel Jacobs had to readjust one more time. And then Daniel Jacobs started winning rounds again. And it was a competitive fight, entertaining fight, and Jacobs won. A clear decision. I thought maybe about 115, 112, 116, around there. was a good score. I guess the least you could give Sulecki is maybe 3 rounds, but I gave him about 4 or 5 rounds. I stopped scoring after halfway through after 7 rounds. After 7 rounds, I had it 4 rounds to 3 for Jacobs. And after that, I stopped scoring. But there were a couple more rounds that I thought Sulecki could have won. It was a competitive fight all the way through. And what's next for Danny Jacobs? You know what? He called out Charlo last night, and I would really love to see that fight against Charlo. Honestly, I'd pick Charlo to win, but who knows? Maybe that'll change if the fight gets signed and materializes. But what a very entertaining weekend of boxing. I wasn't able to see all of them on Saturday. I had to see some on Sunday. Had a really busy and fun weekend. I saw Avengers: The Infinity War, and that was a very good movie. No spoilers, don't worry. But yeah, man, it was a very good weekend of boxing. So until next time, I'm gonna try to make a prediction video for Triple G and Marta Rosen. I mean, I really don't need to make a prediction video. Triple G's gonna win. I mean, most likely. So, all right, until next time, my people, go ahead and subscribe if you have yet to do so. And until next time, goodbye and adios.